Gigi No Re, you thought we pod faded. You were wrong again.
That is some fan service right there.
Everybody's like, "Oh, your last episode was in June or something of last year." It doesn't matter. It keeps on going. We are going to do a one shot tonight. Maybe it's a one shot. It's hard to say. Perhaps it's a multiple shot. But at the moment, it's a one shot of Lord of the Rings. We had some debate whether to use MERP, the old school one, or the One Ring, or Adventures in Middle Earth, or something else that I made up. So we went with the One Ring, which is the custom system from what's the Free League, right?
Yes.
All right. So we're doing that, and they have a starter set with a bunch of Hobbit adventures. So that's what we're doing. Everybody's Hobbits. It's Hobbit time. Mm-hmm. And we did a theme night, and we'll have pictures on our website. What's our website? That is ggnorecast.com. Go there, and you will see the show notes page, and there will be pictures of various things, like our One Ring cake, our Eye of Sauron cake, our wings. Why do we have all these things? It's Fellowship of the Wings night, okay? Everybody brought wings or themed salads. No, we didn't have slaws. We had taters, precious. We had pints. It comes in pints. Mm-hmm. Everything was on brand, okay? So I advocate doing this. We'll have a little post, a text.
It was on Brandy Buck.
Oh, thank you. And that's on Brandy Buck. All right. So we have Lord of the Rings one shot, Lord of the Rings themed fellowship meal. Everybody just after church, y'all bring your potlucks to the fellowship hall.
It really was the Fellowship of the Wings.
Yeah. So that's what we had tonight. And Steve was in the middle. We have a guest, Steve, who was in the middle of telling a story about going to a convention. So just like skip ahead 5 minutes if you just want to get to the game. But if you don't, like if you're a true fan, like an OG fan, if you're part of the fellowship, just listen. Thanks. Go ahead, Steve.
All right. Well, this is a story of Vince Vaughn in two parts. Me and two friends, we went to GaryCon for the 50th anniversary. This was, I guess, 1 or 2 years ago now. Interestingly, I met Vince by accident. I was actually attempting to take a picture of a silly Starbucks sign in the venue where they were hosting GaryCon. And there was a big guy in my way, so I asked the big guy, could he step aside so I can reach around and take a picture? And the big guy turned around and looked at me, and it was Vince Vaughn. He said, yeah, sure, go ahead. So I asked Vince Vaughn to move.
Did you tell me he was so money?
No, I thought about it, but he looked like he had just gotten out of his bed. So
That's just Vince Vaughn.
yeah, true. So I asked a list star to get out of the way so I could take a picture of a sign at Starbucks. So fast forward a couple days, and we're playing in a late night game with Griff Morgan, the producer of Secrets of Blackmore, which is a movie about the founding of D&D from the people who first created it, thought it up before it was D&D. And we're running really late. And so at the convention, there's all these, in addition to the normal bars, there's these sort of pop-up bars. And I have a tendency to get talkative pretty much anywhere. So we take a break. It's late at night, and I go talking to the bartender at one of these pop-up bars. And I notice they've got some pretty good bourbons. They have mostly crap scotch, and I drink scotch when that is available. So I start talking to him. Where's your scotch? Man, go get some scotch. Don't you have some good scotch around here? And so he gets this conspiratorial look in his eye, and he looks around left and right like, is someone coming? Are we in trouble now? He says, well, what are we talking about? I said, well, thought we were talking about good scotch. He says, all right, hold on. And he walks back to the back wall where there's curtains. This is, a convention center. Moves a curtain aside, pulls up a bottle, comes walking back, and says, I'm supposed to be saving this for Vince Vaughn, but I haven't seen him all night. Macallan 18 pours it into a solo cup, like 2/3 full.
No kidding.
I noticed there's still some left in the bottle, so I go back and I tell my friends, Jason and Kyle, and it's like the Roadrunner. Phew. So we finished off Vince Vaughn's Macallan 18 that night.
All right. Thank you, Steve.
Asked him to get out of the way and then drink his scotch.
All right.
Vince, if you're listening, my bad.
He's not.
Maybe he is. Maybe he's one of our patrons.
He's not.
Who can say?
You're telling me there's a chance.
Yes. All right. So The One Ring. What is it? It is a video game, tabletop game, not video game at all.
I thought it was One Ring, like to bind them One Ring to.
Yeah, it's something like that. And it uses a custom system that, as I was reading this, I've never read it before, had no familiarity with it. But as I was reading it, it seemed like it's a Frankenstein of a ton of early 2000s indie games plus 5e. That's what it seems like to me. And the thing that it reminded me most of, if you're familiar with this, is Mouse Guard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we've got journeys, we've got, and especially these starter set adventures are extremely mouse guardy in a way that I don't like. But, we'll get to that. You'll see what I'm talking about here in a second. If you don't know Mouse Guard, soon you will. All right. These are a series, we're doing the starter set. It's a series of 5, I think, adventures that are linked together in the Shire. Most all the characters are hobbits, and the players have never read the rules before. Only I think maybe Steve, have read the rules. So we're going to get to it. We're going to run it as best we can to give you an idea of what it's like. I read through it once or twice, so I didn't do a ton of extracurricular preparation, just as you might if you were going to run it. So here we go, and I really hope that you like flavor text, because, brother, there is a ton of flavor text in this thing.
Does anyone not love flavor text?
Well, if you don't, please turn it off.
Skip ahead to the poop.
Don't listen. You're not going to want this. All right, here we go. Flavor text time. Now, Chris, when I run games, this is not what I do. This is not representative of what we do. But sometimes you have to branch out and do something you're not comfortable with, and you may come to regret it later. Forever. We're going to see. All right.
5 Mile Volcano.
After this, can we play Dragonlance?
Maybe I'll be in the mood after this.
I know I will be.
You're always in the mood for Dragon Ball.
I'm always in the mood to wield a hoopak.
Okay, you got to stop saying that word around me. After
Quest
quite
for the Dragonlance.
a long walk under stars that have come out blazing and bright, after an afternoon of heavy rain.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah. You finally come to the round green door of Bag End, the home of the strange and famous Bilbo Baggins. By the way, this game's system is set between The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. So that's the time period.
Every
That would
time.
have been I don't know how much editing you want to do, but if you want to edit Nimoy's Bilbo Baggins.
I was gonna say every
right
time I said
there.
so you have to edit in the
Yeah.
Bilbo Baggins.
Perfect.
Just put that in Discord and try to remind me. All right. Standing there upon the mat, you find yourself, okay, this is another thing. This drives me up the wall. This was characteristic of an entire school of adventure writing, second person flavor text adventures. You do this. You find yourself here. What's wrong with that? It presumes that everyone's going to do the same thing. It's just railroad time.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing, buddy. Buckle up. Get your trays in
Buttercup.
their locked position.
About to say, I didn't know about a train ticket here, man.
Yeah, well, you got it. Standing there upon the mat, you find yourself surrounded by distant relations. It seems as though Bilbo called for a collection of cousins to join him this evening. Just as one of you is about to ring the bell, the door is pulled open, and you see standing in the front hall none other than Master Baggins himself. He offers each of you an energetic greeting and quickly ushers you in with a plethora of welcomes, thank yous, and lovely to see yous. Now, that's a decent amount of flavor text, isn't it? But that's only 1/3 of it.
I don't think that's actually a proper use of plethora either,
Well,
by the way.
You're going to take that
They
up
did
with
it.
Cube, whatever this company is. All right, before you can gather your wits about you, you've been swept into the warm embrace of Bag End and led into the parlor where a lovely fire, fresh mugs of ale, plates of dainties, and several, that'd be a good podcast.
We should
name.
have plates of
And-
dainties.
And several cushioned chairs and
think we
sofas offer
do.
a much needed spot of rest and relaxation. Bilbo, a twinkle in his eye, ushers you each into a seat, but takes none for himself. A few minutes after you finish the first plate of food, the obviously excited Master Baggins can no longer contain himself. He places one hand behind his back and another in his vest pocket. Oh,
He's-
what's he doing
Is
there?
he fiddling with
Buddy,
something?
what are you doing?
Purple
Standing
nurple.
tall to ensure he has your attention. You're all undoubtedly curious as to why I've called you here this evening. Well, he leans in, the firelight causing the twinkle in his eye to dance merrily.
Whoa.
Okay, somebody.
He's getting a little liberal with that
Okay,
twinkle.
Calm yourself
the
down.
night
This is not writing class.
Is this the night that Bilbo will be?
Come on, Stefano.
Frodo.
His hand sweeps from behind his back towards the
Frodo.
parlor window.
Sorry.
I'm hoping you will partake in a little adventure. Nothing so grand as my own, I'm afraid, but in return for your aid, I will provide each of you with a place in my memoirs and a fair share of my eternal gratitude. He grabs a glass of wine off the table and takes a sip, pausing for effect. Now I know what you're thinking. There goes old Bilbo again, taking after that wizard Gandalf. Oh, I remember that guy. You remember?
Wait,
Gandalf?
The wizard that came by?
Sending you hobbits off into the blue. Well, I can assure you it's nothing of the sort. Just a little trip to Mickle Delving. Hey,
Mickle Delving. All right.
when I read...
I always wanted to go there.
When I've read that, I've always thought in my head, Michael Delving, because it looks like Michael.
Yeah.
So I looked it up on the internet, and people are saying, and I believe this, that it should be pronounced Mickle, because I think that's like a place name in England that's used, and it comes from Old English Mickle, which means big, great, strong. So the big delving, the big dugout place.
There you go.
That makes sense. Just a little trip to Mickle Delving and back to recover what one might call a family heirloom from the Matham House, a map of the Shire supposedly made by the old Took himself, with all sorts of precious annotations. Now, I've sent many letters to the custodian, Malva Slowfoot, asking if I could have it back, even offering fairly generous donations, but for some reason, she's provided no replies. One more paragraph. So, I thought that we needn't tell her or her husband. After all, we're talking about something that belonged to my grandfather, and that wouldn't be out of place here in Bag End. And most of all, we needn't alert that pesky dog that the Slowfoots have to guard the place.
Slow feet.
Sharp as a tack, that beast, and he sniffs me out every time I've come near. Besides, I know some of you place more value on local gossip than others, and even just being seen at night in the company of mad Baggins might be enough to ruin your reputation forever. But for those of you with spirit, which I know all of you have in spades, or I'd not have called you here tonight, won't you aid me on this errand of particular importance, my fellow conspirators? All right.
Yes.
So Bilbo offers you each a fine night's rest in one of the many spare bedrooms of Bag End and a hearty breakfast, before telling you that he plans on sending you out the door after second breakfast. I plan on sending you out the door after second breakfast. To keep the trip away from the prying eyes of the nosy hobbits of Hobbiton and Bywater, Bilbo's laid out a path for you. All right, you're going to head north from Bag End. Okay, are we finding it on the map here?
I'm looking.
We've got a big map.
What are we doing after that?
Well, you're going to find out.
Oh.
You're going to find out. All right, find Bag End. All right, somewhere on there. Okay, it's not toward the west.
Mickle Delving.
So go east from Mickle Delving.
Where's Hobbiton?
Yep. Find Bag End. All right.
I don't know if it's labeled.
It is 100% labeled.
I see the Shire.
Yeah, everything's in the Shire here.
Well, it's not. That's brief. That's here.
Oh,
The Grey Havens.
oh, this is a big map of the whole world.
Yeah,
Okay,
sorry.
let's
Right
get out
here.
the Hobbiton,
here.
the Shire map.
Get out the me-size map.
There it is.
On the other side. Just flip this map.
Oh, it's on the other side. Okay, we'll pause while we flip it. All right. So we've got our map. We figured out where Bag End is. I know, fake fans, right? We've got the big map that thankfully Steve brought us. He has the actual box set, so we got a big physical map of the Shire. And so what we're going to do is Bilbo has told us to head north from Bag End into Overhill. You see that, right? Overhill. Yep. And then turn west across the country for a few miles before crossing a shallow point into the water. You find it? Okay.
Go river.
Then after crossing the Bywater Road, you'll reach the East Road and set out west toward Waymeet, where you'll take the rest. Where you'll rest for the evening before arriving at Mickle Delving the next day. So does all that make sense?
Yeah.
From looking at the map.
Waymeet is there.
Okay. Roll Tide. All right, so it's the morning. You've had breakfast. You've had second breakfast. The morning dawns bright and clear, perfect for a nice walk about the Shire. And now the problem, okay, meta, the problem with the way this is written is like stuff is all mixed in together. There's stuff the players can't hear mixed in with stuff that they can, yada yada. Many such cases. We all know what I'm talking about, but it is what it is. We're just going to go with it. The first true obstacle. Here we go. Everything's been fine so far. It's been lovely. Bluebirds are chirping. Grasshoppers are grassing and hopping. But now the water that you have to cross has become swifter with the recent rain, and the shallow ford where Bilbo told them to cross looks a bit more treacherous. The player heroes. That's another thing. You're not called PCs. You're called player, capital P, dash, heroes.
Oh.
All right. Must now consider their circumstances and find a solution. All right. So this is the very Mouse Guardian kind of thing. And Mouse Guard, it's a game made for children. And so, there's a journey from place to place, and you put two mechanical obstacles in between, like crossing a river, and then something else. And you literally just make a skill check, and then you get by it. And then you make a skill check, and then you get by it. That's it. That's how this is structured. I think, though, that's just an artifact of the way the adventure is written, and you don't have to run it that way. But the idea is now, okay, you had to figure out a way to get across the water without drowning. That's the problem.
Chutes and ladders.
All right. So who has an idea for what to do? This is not what they say to do. They just tell you somebody has to make an X roll. But I'm not going to say that.
Have
But
we tried swimming?
yeah, you could just swim across it. That would be an athletics
Is
roll.
the assumption like we can't swim?
No, maybe you can't. But yes, Steve.
Mintha has a rope. So if one of us
Okay.
could get across.
Strong swimmer goes across.
Who's the strong swimmer?
He's got athletics.
It's an athletics check, you said?
That makes sense to me, don't it?
I only have one.
You have a 1 athletics. Does anybody have a
seems
bigger than
great.
1 athletics?
Perhaps we should clarify what TN stands for here so they'll know.
Oh, TN means target number. It's like your DC.
Oh.
You roll against yourself, typically.
Yeah, same thing.
I think all the time. So if you look up from your skill, you have several columns, 3 columns of skills, and above that you have an ability. And the ability that you have to roll against, the TN, the DC, is what those skills in that column roll against.
I would like to sneak across because
Sorry.
I have a very good
Sorry.
stealth rating.
Okay, so so it's really a combination.
Oh, and the way that sorry,
Speak to the river.
the way that rolling works is you're always going to roll a D12. All right. And Steve has the custom dice for that.
Ooh.
The D12 that they give you in the game are a D10 with 2 signs on them. One is an Eye of Sauron, which means it counts as 0 if you get that, and can also add to like your shadow rating, like you're getting taken over by the dark forces, that kind of thing. And then there's a Gandalf rune, which is an automatic success.
Okay.
So it's like a crit.
Like a 1 and a 20.
So you can use a D12. 11 means Eye of Sauron. 0. 12 means automatic success, Gandalf. Okay.
Okay.
So that's what the that's what the D12 is for. So what you're going to do is roll a D12 always, plus a number of D6s equal to your skill. So if you have 1, that's 1
Okay.
D6. And then you may get like conditional bonuses or penalties. But then you add them all together versus the TN of your ability.
Okay, so I have a pretty good chance of this then.
Okay. So
Wait.
that,
What about this?
Where's the T? Oh. never mind.
Oh, wait a minute.
oh, okay. And there is a box on the left of each skill. That is-
Wait. The TN is this big number.
TN is the big number above it, your ability. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
In the very middle, top row, big.
Yeah.
In the middle, diamond. That's the TN. That's your difficulty that you have to hit. Yeah,
15 is what I need to hit.
you need to hit a 15.
Okay,
Yeah.
never mind. This I was reading it wrong. I
You're,
thought.
you're explaining the dots to the left.
Yeah, okay. And the dot. If you have a dot to the left of a skill, that means it is favored. So that is an artifact of how you create your character. So if it is favored, that means you have advantage. You roll the feat die, or excuse me, yeah. Well,
Yes.
Okay, the feat
12-sided.
die, the 12-sided die, twice and take the better result.
Okay.
And the way you crit in combat is you get a 10 or more on the feat die,
Except for 11.
Except for 11.
except for 11. Right. Don't
You
worry
can also
about
use
that.
this system to do your taxes.
Yes, you
This one goes to 11.
Yes. Okay. So, who does anybody have a 2 or more in athletics? Okay. Well, then somebody just has
Am I
to.
the only one who has
You
athletics?
brought it up, so you're going to do it.
Okay.
All right. So you're going to roll your feet die, the D12, plus 1d6.
Yeah.
Is your athletics favored?
Yes.
Oh, then roll with advantage on your
Yes.
feet on your D12.
9 plus.
So you rolled a 9 the first time.
Oh, bingo, bango.
If I can't
bongo.
reroll. I get to reroll the.
Just the 12.
Is a 12 a Gandalf?
12 is Gandalf.
Okay.
That's a Gandalf.
Hey, can you put in there every time somebody hits a Gandalf that you put in the Gandalf?
Put it in chat. I don't know. I'm probably not going to want to do all this editing.
Like Sloth from Goonies.
Oh man, somebody is clipping. I don't know.
Might have been me.
Okay.
That looks like it's me. Is it me?
All right.
Probably.
We'll put you down a little bit. Okay. Sorry, listener. The single listener out there.
I swim across with the rope.
Yeah, we're also experimenting. We've got all new mics, so the EQ may be a little weird. You know, just got to give us a little bit of charity. Okay?
Roll with it.
I mean, it's
All
kind
right.
of par for the course right now, ain't it?
That's right. So you succeeded. Also,
They should be happy they're getting anything.
if you have the fancy dice that come with the game, your D6s are also fancy. 1 through 3 have a certain look to them, and 4 through 5 have a certain look, and then 6 has a certain look. 6, if you get any 6s, that has a little rune on it, which means like if you succeed, it's an even better success.
Ooh.
So you count up those as well.
110%.
Exactly. So you rolled a 1 on your success die, the D6. So that doesn't matter. You succeeded. And generally, the way the system works is that one person rolls for the party. So you rolled your athletics. You get everybody across. It's fine. If you had a rope, we could have probably added that in as a D6, like in addition to his D6. Go ahead and do that.
That was
Go
the
ahead.
plan.
Go ahead and do it. All right, roll another D6. Pretend we're doing it.
6.
6, and it's a 6. That's
Look
the
at
highest
that.
you can get.
I roll the highest on both.
So that means it's
Did we win
totally
the whole
fine.
That's a
now.
double Gandalf.
We got to cross even more. Yeah.
Yeah, you're so
We're all
far
dry.
across there.
we're all dry.
It's not even a big. And okay, what would have happened if? Oh, I think on this one they want you all to roll it yourselves. Everybody. It says hobbits who fail their athletics roll.
Ooh.
Okay, so everybody just roll it.
Sucks to be y'all.
Just everybody roll it.
Except for the humans.
But
I think by the rules we could have just done one person doing it. You know, just to show like find a good place to cross.
Are we not all hobbits?
You're all hobbits.
Oh.
Holy smokes.
And if I don't have a check in athletics, I don't roll a d6.
You just roll a d12.
Just roll a d12. Okay, I failed.
Yep. Okay, probably.
This is not good. Do I get to roll from my rope an extra 6-sided die?
Yeah, sure. If you have
It doesn't matter.
if you have an item that helps you, then you can roll a 6-sided die for that.
I know my fancy garments.
All right. Anybody who fails, guess what? You drown.
Oh, no.
You
Game
are
over.
coughing and spluttering. Is that a word?
Sputtering.
Fully soaked. It says spluttering.
I think splutter and sputter.
butter is a word. Yeah.
I think both
Okay.
are words.
So really,
If you have water in your mouth, you're spluttering.
Yeah,
If you were
yeah.
just stuttering and mumbling, it would be
Yeah, yeah,
sputtering.
yeah, yeah.
Sputtering's what a car does.
Maybe that too.
No, puttering's what
sounds
a car
good.
does.
so regardless, there's
That's
basically no consequences.
Nope.
Don't worry. This is the intro.
This is
adventure.
like
It's teaching you how to roll the dice.
So I'm coughing up water right now. That's what you're telling me.
That's right.
This is upward Hobbit D&D.
Yes.
Everyone gets a trophy.
Everyone
Nice.
gets a trophy.
Okay, we're playing basketball on carpet.
All right. Dry or soaked, the hobbits eventually find a way and reach Waymeet
Wait.
after
So it's pointless to roll?
Yes.
Okay.
And this is my
If we fail, there are eagles.
Stakes were high though. That's what's important.
that's my problem with this adventure and the way it's written. Listen, it's
I got a Gandalf. I thought I'd
you
get
got a
something.
Gandalf. All right.
You felt good in the
You're
moment.
dry. That's it.
All right.
You're dry.
Here's what we'll do. We're gonna give mechanical consequences because this is how you do it. Reduce your endurance by 1 if you failed. Okay, so you will see under your strength ability score, top left, there is an endurance little guy. That's your max. That's like your HP. Okay, so and on the middle right of your character sheet, I believe, there is a thing for your current stats, like current endurance.
Yes.
So reduce that by 1.
Well, don't you think we should roll again since you changed
Nope.
the stakes?
I don't believe that.
Well,
That makes perfectly logical sense to me.
Listen, he has spoken. That's
I also
current
don't-
endurance.
I also don't
I just put it
remember
at
what I
negative
rolled.
1.
No, I would just say 21 or however you want to do it. Because you have 22 at max.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't make that
So you start
connection.
with a lot
Okay.
of HP relative to a D&D character or something like that.
Yeah, it's pretty high.
That's because weapons do a lot of endurance damage, and you're going to be traveling in places, so it's assuming you're losing endurance as you travel. Okay. So anyway, that's like a typical penalty that you would find. And when your endurance, it has a fun kind of encumbrance system. Not kind of, a fun encumbrance system. You should have a stat in there called load. When your encumbrance, share the load. When your encumbrance meets or is less than your load, you become weary,
Oh, there it is.
which has mechanical consequences. 1 through 3 on your D6s no longer count for anything.
Ooh.
So it makes it harder to succeed at stuff, but not impossible. All right.
I feel like I shouldn't have criticized the tutorial.
Yeah, well, okay. I know what you're saying. Now, you've reached Waymeet, which should be west of this place, right?
Yes.
All right.
Sure.
Waymeet is quite active on the evening when the player heroes arrive, as the tables outside the Walking Party Inn are still occupied. It's fair weather, and the daylight hours are waning. The locals are polite, though very curious about what brings the crowd of hobbits so diverse this far west at such a late hour. All right, now it's wanting you to make another skill check. Don't worry about it. This is a railroad, okay? Just embrace it. I'm embracing it. Embrace it with me.
I am
So it-
looking out the right side
right.
window. I'm smiling.
There you go. Avoiding inquiries as to the nature of their business without offending the locals can be done with a successful riddle roll. On a okay. Who has the best? Who would be the best?
Oh, that's
okay.
the thing.
You're the guy.
3?
You got.
You beat
okay,
3?
He's got 3. How much?
I've got 3 and I'm favored.
Yeah, I'm not favored.
I'm not favored.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's 4.
I haven't been favored for
Or was
a long
that?
time.
That's advantage.
Yeah.
That's advantage.
Hey,
Okay.
do you have? Are you favored? No. Mason, you're
We're
not favored.
We're not favored. We got 3, but we're not.
Scrub.
No riddle favors.
All right.
I'm
so
blessed and highly favored.
2d12. Take the best. 3d6.
Call me Jacob, baby.
Oh, and do you have any like item that would help you with riddle? Probably not.
No, I don't see anything.
Okay. Oh, I think if anyone is like trained in it, you can probably like help him and give him
And
an extra d6.
I roll the d12
I mean,
Twice.
favors.
Take the best.
I
Okay.
mean, trained in it.
Okay, sweet.
Like
That's,
I don't know. Don't
10,
ignore what I'm
14,
saying.
19
You can tell me if that works.
versus.
Your TN.
Whatever.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good. Yeah.
And did you get any 6s?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so just a normal success.
Yep.
Okay. On a failure, you would have revealed a bit too much about your involvement with Bilbo, and the conversation would dry up, and people would look at you weird.
Yeah, but I'm a fairly sheltered person, so I'm a bit closeted in that aspect.
Can you please talk like that for the rest of
Oh no, I'm talking in a Kiwi accent for the rest of the game.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'd love to know what the consequences are for revealing that you're going to steal a map for Bilbo.
Yeah, it doesn't tell you. Well, it just says people just look at you weird. That's the consequences.
Devastating.
But they don't look at me weird because I'm adorable.
People look at me weird every day.
And you say, "Oh, okay, well, welcome. Have a pint." No, they don't have pints here. Have a cup.
Oh,
Yeah,
Have 8 ounces.
it comes in cups.
I know 6 ounces. A teacup. Finding lodging for the night proves a little harder, but doesn't mean you have to do anything. It seems that all the beds are taken, booked by a group of pipeweed merchants headed for
Oh,
Longbottom.
that old Toby.
Many such cases.
I thought that was illegal here.
And again, this is written in an infuriating manner. It says, asking around, they are pointed to a local farmer.
we
They
didn't
didn't
ask.
ask around? What are you talking
Railroad.
about?
I believe we did ask around. It's in black and white. It's in paper right there.
Hey,
Yeah.
weed guy, do you know of a local place we can find a room?
Turns out
But
this
check-
hotel's booked up due to a weed convention.
Check this out. They say, hey, we think you should go talk to a local farmer here named Baldo Bunce.
Baldo Blunts, am I right?
Waldo Blunts, who happens to have some
That's the
spare
guy that
room.
was on the couch with the oxygen tank.
He can't put down the stein. One, he drinks his Hobbit lean, sipping on promethazine. Okay, he's got spare room in his stables.
Oh,
Bunce offers to let you sleep in his premises. You can sleep in my premises, but only if they drive
Hard
off a
pass.
huge and menacing owl.
Did you say what?
Yeah.
Get rid of
Well,
the owl?
Been
there's-
owl
the
fight?
problem is you got to drive off this owl. I've got this, I'm a charitable man.
Now
I'd
we're
let
playing
anybody
Harry
sleep
Potter.
in my barn, no matter what. But I'm going to have to put a condition on it. I need you to promise me to drive off this owl. Kill it, skin it, pluck
It's
it,
turned into dark red wall.
become a friend with it, and take it with you in your pocket. I don't care, but it's been scaring my poor old mule, Gertrude. So I need it. Old Baldo Bunce needs it gone.
Turns out I have a bow.
I also have a bow.
Well,
gonna
do
go
you
shoot some
accept?
stuff?
Yeah.
yes.
Do I actually
Great.
have a bow, or if it's marked that I'm
It-
proficient in a bow, do I have
What?
a bow?
It has to say it on the sheet.
If I write it down right now, does it?
No, you can't write it down right now.
But
It's
you
cheating.
made these for us.
Oh, but I said
No, I didn't. I printed them out.
He
They
said
were
it. He
part
said
of
it
the
out
thing.
loud though.
Well, I mean, you print. Yeah. I assumed when you said I'm printing out pre-gens that it's all pre-gens.
So I
Yeah,
have
everything that you have is on your sheet.
I have an owl in a tree
Oh, okay, I
behind my
understand.
house in real life. If you wanted to hunt an owl and you've got multiple people with a bow, you're pretty much fine. They don't move. They just sit
yeah.
there.
Okay. Let's just.
I don't know. I like to think this was Al from the Guardians of Gahul.
Oh, maybe.
You seen that movie?
Yeah, maybe.
If you get
Guys
close
got
to
like
it,
huge
yeah.
Do the owls have sharp talons? But they're
Had-
steel. They're like on their talons. There's talons on their talons.
Patch your hands up behind that shit.
Is
The
that
surprise is going to be Hagrid backing up the owl.
Do the chickens have large talons? Boy, I don't understand a word you just said. Found a bunch of Apache airheads.
they're Shoshone. Shoshone arrowhead.
All right.
So the owl will swoop at you if you get too close.
They do swoop.
Swooping
does say
is
Shoshone.
bad.
They've been known to
You
swoop.
just scoop and dunk.
Don't you remember when we had the owl familiar and we had the whole swooping thing? We were
remember.
playing like the which one was that? The mine thing? That one?
I
wanna
What, 11 years ago?
Yes.
No, I don't.
time ago.
Now I have another song stuck in my head.
You're welcome.
All right. If the players accept, they've accepted. Bunce, I'll pay in. I'll pay for your meal tonight at the walking party. Just here, have some beans and toast.
Oh, beans and toast.
Got any meat?
Wonderful.
Franken
We
beans.
have some chicken wings,
Do you have any?
but some of them have a kind of gummy skin in an unfortunate grilling accident.
Those wings.
Yeah. All right.
Wing wing.
Okay. You eat your food, and now we're cutting to the barn. It's a great barn. It's a fantastic barn. Maybe one of the best barns.
It's the
Huge.
biggest barn.
It's a
Ever.
huge barn.
And
the best barns.
that's what the mayor should sound like. The mayor of Mickledale. We got the
Make Mickledale great again.
I got to be quiet about that. There's spoilers. All right. He brings you blankets along with a small basket of leftover bread and ale from the afternoon as an evening snack. How thoughtful. Listen, I don't care what you do, why you're here. That's all between you and, whoever's upstairs. What is it? Ellen Deal? No, not Ellen Deal. Who does he talk to?
Who?
Elbereth.
Who?
You know,
Who talks to Elbreth?
people do in Middle Earth. Gathoniel, right?
What is a hobbit?
You're some deep cuts.
Dude, that sounds like some nerd stuff right there.
I've read the Silmarillion.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, he says, listen, just try to get rid of that owl. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks. An eerie hoot then rings out in the barn, as if on cue, and the tiny
Said
mule.
eerie.
More eerie.
That's a ruddy mysterious.
The tiny mule sitting idly in the rear of the place stirs. Ooh, he stirs. That's a big problem.
Ooh, I'm stirred.
All right.
Making a martini.
The players can get rid of the great owl if they What do you? It just tells me what. But
Succeed
what
on
do y'all
a
do?
dice roll of a check.
Well, aren't hobbits good at throwing rocks?
Yeah, they are.
I would like to
Slings.
throw a rock at the owl.
No, no, no,
Because I
no,
don't
no,
have
no.
another.
This hobbit's pretty good at
Courtesy.
throwing arrows.
What? Well,
This
maybe I'll
human's
wait
good
and
at a
see
bow.
what the other guys
Same.
do with their bows, and if they miss, I'll take a crack
No,
at it
no,
with
no,
a
no.
rock throw.
Listen,
I
boys.
got 2 for bows.
Oh, you're even
Let's
better.
list our ages so I can say whether or not you guys are boys or not.
I'm a female,
I'm a man.
so
We didn't even go through the rundown of our names.
29.
no.
You're not even a man yet.
Yeah, we
Hobbit years, yeah, I'm still a little.
Flavor text for our characters
Chin
and our
fuzz.
pre-gens.
Man, ain't nobody got time for that.
It's probably quicker than that opening one you did, the 3 paragraphs.
Listen, I had to do
No, that was a small novel. No.
Say what you think is interesting. Say Asa, I need your age and what's your
ASL.
ASL. 40, female, bag in. I'm a single 40-year-old in your area.
That's all you
But
got.
you are a hobbit, so I mean that's basically like you're 20.
Yeah,
15.
I'm 12 for all intents and purposes.
Okay. You're 40. Anything you want to say else?
No.
Okay, Tim.
What?
Anything you want to say? Your age and then what else?
Holy crap, Frodo's my kid.
Nuh-uh. Wait, are you my wife?
What's up? Hey, boo. I'm a Primula Brandy Buck.
Wait, say your names.
No, I'm okay. We got to go in order.
Yeah,
for
Asa,
real.
Yeah.
what are you?
I'm a Primula Brandy Buck.
And what are you, Mason?
Drogo Baggins.
Drogo Baggins. Yeah.
No.
you're Bilbo's.
It literally says Frodo's my son.
Yeah.
So we're
Frodo's
gonna
your
cut to
son.
the fireplace.
Oh, that's right. You're Bilbo's like brother. Or something.
Soon I will marry Drogo Baggins, and we will have a son, Frodo.
I kind of want to. I kind of want to read a little bit of my flavor text.
that written in
for
Hebrews?
reasons
Where
that
was
will
that?
become apparent in a second.
Okay, read your flavor text.
I'm Rory Mac Brandybuck. The ladies describe me as keen-eyed and rustic.
I get that all the time.
Also, it says, this is the part I wanted to read. Plain and proper he was before that wizard dragged him off into the blue, only to plop him back down over a year later with a pack full of gold and a twinkle in his eye.
Oh, the twinkle again. But your twinkle wasn't.
Put that
dancing
twinkle
And I
in.
merrily.
think that was a reference to Bilbo and not, to old Mad Baggins, but I thought that was...
I'm just.
I thought
They
that
really
was,
like that
I thought that was a
phrase.
reference to Harvey Weinstein.
Oh my.
And mute.
No, I just... Oh,
A twinkle in your eye and a therapist on call.
I just meant...
And a bag of gold.
I just meant that they seem to really like that phrase a lot.
Yeah. All right. So what are we doing? Now, Mason, you said you wanted to do something.
Courtesy.
How is courtesy relevant here?
Courtesy, I'm going to treat the animal kindly. I'm going to invite it to my shoulder. I'm going to bring it close to me, and I'm going
All
to.
right.
It was
Make
like
the
Buckbeak.
check.
That'll make it easy. Like a big owl.
Make a really big shoot.
He's gonna bow to it and see if
burn one of
it
these
bows
Shoulder,
back.
and you're gonna be bleeding out.
No, I got Eye of Sauron.
Oh. No, that just means you got a 0 on the feet. You can still succeed.
What does that mean? I got a 6, a 4, and a 5.
So just ignore the D12.
Okay.
So do you beat that 13?
And I roll it at wit advantage.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Then roll the D12 again.
Okay. 9.
So do you
Better than Eye of Sauron.
do you succeed?
Do you
So
beat
look
the 13?
Look up from courtesy to the
Yeah,
big
he
number
adds a
above it.
15 to that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Does my D12 have to beat the TN?
No, the D12 does not. You add them
whole
all
order.
together.
All the
easily,
numbers.
easily.
Yeah.
Okay.
easily
Did you
beat.
get any 6s
Yep.
on the D6s?
Got 1 6.
You got
Okay.
a 4, 5, 6.
So the owl looks at you and seems to nod with understanding.
Mm-hmm.
And he flies off to trouble the
There you go.
mule no more.
Man, I want an owl meat.
I mean, the understanding was that he would come to me, but I guess this is equally.
Oh, well, if you wanted to come to you, you got an extra success. Absolutely. He lights upon your shoulder.
Ah,
You got a
Yes.
friend.
It's not too late.
and he'll
Not
take.
too late to hit it.
And he'll take. He'll take like a tenth of my rations every now and then.
Yeah, sure. No problem. All right.
It could be a tenth of your rations if you needed it to be.
I'm no expert in owlology, but I think they go and find their own food, right?
Yeah.
Sure, but
Hey,
I'm trying.
just note
to
on your
control.
character sheet and your equipment, Baldo's owl.
Hey, you should make it to where you can check his owl pellets to see if you find anything special.
Is that war gear or is that traveling
It
gear?
depends on how you want to think
Is the
about it.
owl like just tame now?
Chest trap.
That's cool.
He's just a friend.
Okay.
Ball goes
Before
owl.
he was extremely ornery,
Traveling gear as well.
Why you got to make it more than it is?
but now he's friendly.
You just said
friend.
ball goes owl. That's it.
Yep.
He no longer says who.
BALDO.
He says you.
All right, here we go.
Just a friend.
Get out. The rest of the evening passes uneventfully, and a few minutes after the rooster crows, Bunce, Baldo Bunce, wakes the characters and bids them a polite but firm farewell. Hey, good morning. Go away, please.
All right.
It's a very British welcome.
Have we had first breakfast?
First breakfast, okay. Not second, though. I'm afraid I have to draw the line there.
Oh, are you sure?
All right, setting out from
know why
Waymee,
that
part 2. Listen, you beat part 1. You true gamers. Yes. Listen, you have to use all your brain cells to get through that.
Cross the river.
I'm gonna be so sad when this audiobook ends.
That's true.
Tutorials suck.
You're going to be sad with the audiobook.
What do we do next?
All right, part 2. Setting out from Waymee, the conspirators will arrive at Mickle Delving by the end of the day.
Will we though?
Here they begin their adventure in earnest.
We do.
We can play this game on autopilot. I love this.
All right, here we go. You pass actual flavor text.
Oh.
You pass the spot where a southward path leads off from the main course of the East Road, just as the sun sets and the first stars begin to reveal themselves. Ahead, you get a good look at Mickle Delving upon the White Downs, quite a bit larger than Hobbiton. It is a tightly packed collection of homes built of wood, brick, and stone. Wow. And the occasional hobbit hole.
Sounds
But-
like Bree.
But as the last of its people go about their evening business, your eye cannot help but be drawn to the massive Smeal. Smile?
Huh?
S-M-I-A-L. I've never said that word out loud.
SMIAL.
Yeah, like Smeal, like a snail kind of spiral.
No, I haven't heard.
Okay, to one side, I'm going to say Smeal. To the one side of the great cobblestone thoroughfare running through the center of town, the town hole, seat of the mayor of the shire. But more important to your business is what lies south of the town hole, on an adjacent hillock not quite so tall and green. It is a large wooden building with a great red round door that is connected to the main road by way of a small stone path. This is the Matham House, the museum of the shire and your destination. As candles flicker to life behind windows and hobbit folks settle in for the evening, you notice a handful of hobbits carrying stout cudgels and tiny lanterns strolling about. Bounders, they call them, undoubtedly making their usual rounds. Best to avoid them, though, lest your mischief be discovered and thwarted. All right.
Oh, I'm super sneaky.
So your new problem: how to get to the Matham House without the Bounders noticing you. What do you do? Now it tells you what to do, but we're gonna take this from 101 to 102. What do you do? What do you do?
According to the internet, it's pronounced either smile or smile.
Smile.
Okay.
Let me see that smile.
And it means they're hobbit holes, right?
Yeah.
The burrows or whatever.
Boy, am I ever dried out. I need to see your finest swams.
Well, the thing, it said like SMIYAL or smile, which are pronounced really similar the way
I'm just
that
gonna
I
keep
say
saying
them.
Smeal.
Smeal
like it.
sounds
Yeah.
better.
So can we hide in plain sight?
So
I
you're
am
gonna make a stealth
actually
check. Great. Please
so-
make it. You
A
said
stealth-
you're gonna do something. What?
I am
I
excellent
want to
at
lead
stealth.
us.
Oh, because you have
Sneaking through.
You have a good stealth.
Yes.
All right, go ahead and make it.
Gonna go into the downs.
Oh, I do too.
I did-
Are you 3 and you're favored?
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Me too.
Double 3.
Well then,
3
Why don't you help him?
Should we
roll
all
an extra
roll?
d6 from his help?
I have 3, but I'm not favored.
If you got the same as me, you do it. You roll it.
Roll 4 dice, favored.
4 dice and.
What do I do?
Yeah.
3
Nothing.
D6.
Just chill out.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Wait for it.
Definitely gonna make it with an extra 6.
Roll tide. All right. So the bounder approaching you is named. You recognize her. Her name
That's
is
a weird name.
Ada Burrows,
Oh.
a young and enthusiastic hobbit from Little Delving. This is one of her. How would you know that? Oh, that's only if you fail. Okay, so maybe you just see her as you sneak by. Great. Okay, so now you've snuck by her. No problem. She's gone.
You done snuck.
Now you're next to the Matham house, and you have your liberty to look around. And it's just going to tell you that you have a couple ways to get in. The door is locked, and the windows are barred, but there is a small skylight opening on the roof. And there is, sticking out of the side of the hill, next to the museum, an old door that might lead into a basement or something like that. So we've got two entrances other than the big main door, which is locked. So how do you guys want to try to get in? You've got possible basement door, main door that's locked, skylight.
Do we have any other burglars in the group?
Define burglar.
It says the word burglar in the top right of your character sheet.
Top right.
No.
And my distinctive features.
Yes.
Oh, distinctive
no.
features means, well, it's fictional, it just tells you what you are, but it also means when you spend, okay, hope. Let's talk about hope. Hope is a stat, I think, associated with heart, the middle stat. Is that right?
Yep.
That is one to resist the effects of shadow, so it's kind of like emotional, moral HP. But you can also spend it to get an additional D6 on a roll. However, if you are inspired for some reason, for instance, if it meets one of your distinctive features, like a burglar, whenever you spend a point of hope to do something relevant to one of those, you get to add 2 dice instead of 1. Oh. So you get it in a 1-to-2 ratio rather than 1-to-1. So that's what that's for. All right. So remember, if you guys, but you have to spend hope before you roll, and you can only spend 1 hope per roll. So you've got a lot, so you can be more liberal than you would with inspiration in D&D, but you can run out, and running out can have bad consequences permanently. Okay. Great.
What items would be in my Tookish Wayfarer bundle?
Bro, I don't know. Just something that makes sense.
I'm hoping there's a grappling hook.
Sure. I would grant that.
Maybe I can use my grappling hook to try to climb up to the skylight.
All right. And so you want to do that, and you want to do what else?
I would like to check out the,
Also a basement?
yes, that seemed to have a glowing quest starts here. area over it.
Yeah. All right. So let's see.
That's a different shade than the rest of the
Well,
the building.
we can split y'all up. Y'all can do separate things. All right. So you do yours first. Grapple hook up with athletics. So add 1d6 for using the item. Right? And at the same time, you can make your. Well, actually, you don't need to make a roll yet. It's not locked. However, make a scan roll. Scan is kind of like perception. No, he makes a scan roll, not anybody else.
Okay.
Just you make athletics. Just him make scan. And just let me know if you succeed or not.
What's the difference in scan and awareness?
I have no
Is
idea.
awareness like passive?
Probably.
The answer is yes.
I don't know. Did I write this thing? Do I know?
All right, scanning.
Awareness is passive. Scan is active.
Okay, that makes sense.
I've got a cheat sheet somewhere.
Did I do that right?
Burp.
You roll 2d12.
2d12, take
And
highest.
you got d6 because you got a dot. So yeah,
Man, it takes a lot to win.
it does.
Did you succeed?
I did not.
Okay. So lose d6 endurance as you fall back down to the. Oh no, sorry.
Yeah.
You were not climbing. What were you doing? Did you succeed?
As something flies in your eye.
Yeah,
All
were
right.
you just
As he
opening and
falls on
unlock
top
the
of
door?
you.
So you get
Now we're
up,
playing 1E.
you get up to the top, no problem. You make sure it's secure. The rope's down for other people to climb up. They're not even going to have to make checks. Gravy. In the meantime, though, what's your character's name there, Steve?
Mintha.
Mintha. You are walking around underground. There's a narrow, cluttered chamber here that stairway led to, covered with or filled with all kinds of trinkets and thick cobwebs. But you step into a nest of rats, and they scurry away noisily and awaken a guard dog. And you can hear him stirring and coming toward you. All right.
Give him bacon.
What do you do?
Bacon.
And who's with who? Who's with who? Is anybody up on the roof or trying to get on the roof with Tim's character? What's your paladin took?
Paladin took the
All right.
second.
Is anybody with Mentha?
If Mentha's on the ground, I'm with Mentha.
All right.
I would have been just kind of
Hanging out.
keeping watch.
All right. So, Mason, you're nearby enough to interact with his stuff.
Yeah.
Nobody else is. Okay,
I
great.
was just standing and watching to see what.
All right. So, what are you doing, Mentha?
Thanks for contributing.
I am going to, as I understand it, we have a fast action and a normal action.
I have no idea about any of that stuff, but
So-
keep on going.
Go with it.
As my fast action, I will draw my short sword.
Okay.
But as my primary action, I will attempt to hide.
All right. So, make your stealth roll.
Which is
And anybody else that is trying to
Oh.
climb up to the top can go ahead and get up this round.
As a burglar, can I double my 6-sided die on stealth?
I think what happens is if you spin, that's a just favorite. What? Can I see the character? Let me look. It's in the middle top, right? Burglar?
Burglar, it's under distinctive features.
Okay. That means that if you spend a hope point, you get 2 dice.
What constitutes a hope? Like, what
You
makes
can
that number?
It's your heart.
Oh, okay. I see it. Oh,
Yeah. And then you've got a current hope on the far right.
I see it now.
With your
I didn't
HP.
connect
And I
the two.
get to double every 6-sided die?
No.
Just one?
When you spend a hope point, normally you get 1 die on the roll.
Okay.
And if you have a distinctive feature that is relevant, you instead get 2. When you
Okay.
spend 1 hope point.
So I will be rolling with advantage for stealth and 3 6-sided die. If I spend a hope, I will get a 4th 6-sided die.
Well, normally if you spend a hope, you get 1. But because you have a distinctive feature, you get 2.
I will do that. I will
Okay.
spend a hope.
And this is fun.
This is fun. Listen, it's not that complicated, actually. You just have to get used to it.
Not that complicated to whom?
Exactly. Anyone.
Anybody who's completely registered.
Think about this. We could have been playing Pathfinder.
1 plus 2 plus 2 plus
can
1.
always be worse.
We could have been playing Pathfinder 2E right now.
Wait, does anybody get to just say, I do something now?
You can say whatever you want.
Yeah, I want to do something now.
Okay, well, I want to resolve what's
speak up.
going on with him.
Okay.
I definitely made it, but there was no, out of all those 6-sided dice, there was no extra,
No 6s?
no 6s.
Okay. Well, the dog loses interest. He's going right past you, but maybe you find some smelly stuff to rub on yourself, like some perfume that's always down here, and you put it on yourself before he gets too close so it doesn't smell you. Great. So you passed. You don't wake up the guard dog. Now, a trap door leading into the Madam House opens in the ceiling of the cellar. You notice it's right above you. How about that? There's no maps to any of this, by the way. And to move them aside carefully requires another stealth roll, to make sure that they don't clatter to the floor and make noise. All right, so you have found out that there's a trapdoor up to the museum from where you are, Steve. Mm-hmm. Excuse me, Mentha. But you'll have to make another check to get through there without knocking a bunch of stuff out of the way. Now, Mason, what were you going to say and do?
It's over now.
Oh, it's over now?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's your situation. Now we've got you on the roof. Anybody else? What are y'all doing?
I was just sort of milling around in the
Yeah.
yard.
Are us millers under threat of dog?
Once
No.
I saw that he got the door open, I'm going to go. That sparks my interest, so I
So you're going to go
follow
the
him.
basement route?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll do that.
Okay,
I'm gonna
Stefan.
go. Hey Tim, there's a door unlocked down here.
Who's Tim?
I don't know.
I don't know who you're.
Inspiration.
Paladin. Hey, Paladin took the second. There's an unlocked door down here.
Son of.
There's also an unlocked skylight up here.
All right, so
I'm
what are you
already
going to do?
here.
Which way are you going?
All right.
Y'all should stop yelling.
Which way are you going?
I'm gonna go up top. Might
Up
as
top.
well.
Up top.
Up top. All right, everybody's going
Bottom.
This
bottom.
does
All
seem
right.
like very Hobbit-esque.
Yeah.
It seems like the way the Hobbits would approach this.
Okay, so you can get down or up. Okay, make your stealth check, and you can make it with 1 extra die from people helping you keep the pots still.
I was going to mention that Drogo is also quite stealthy. So.
All right.
Am I?
You don't have to make a check to get down. It's
Oh,
fine.
that's Drago.
Don't make a check. It's fine. Here we go.
Keep it all on
You got 1,000
table
dice.
this time.
I didn't even know.
So that's, ooh, look at that. Not only is that going to make it, but I've got 2 6s.
Oh, buddy.
You make it even more.
are totally Gucci.
You said there was some loot lying around?
Yeah. You found a little pouch of coins in one of the urns. I don't know how the treasure system works, but everyone who went down basement way can get 1 extra coin unit. I don't know how that is. Say +1 treasure. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out later.
Treasure.
All right.
Unfortunately, it's Zimbabwean dollars.
Those are Confederate dollars.
Bitcoin.
You get an E-Naira CBDC.
All right, so however you arrived, you find yourselves in a great high-ceiling series of rooms containing
Crypto
an
nerd.
impressive display of artifacts from the history of the Shire. Shelves of books chronicling family genealogies and recipes passed down for generation line the walls, while a set of perfectly polished diamond studs are set on a pedestal under glass, and a pair of strange crossed walking sticks are mounted on the wall. Countless other knickknacks and bric-a-bracs, doesn't say bric-a-bracs, I did that for effect, and mathams are on display, from old brass buttons mounted on a velvet board to a gleaming coat of silver rings set to rest on a post in the corner. Though a wonder to behold, it's going to take a bit of doing to find the old Took's map in this collection.
How does lore work?
I don't know, but it's if you want to know if something.
I mean,
yeah.
does this
Yep.
sounds like a suitable scenario?
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah. All right. Sweet.
Make your thing.
You're on
What do
the
you want to know?
roof.
Yeah, I assume you want to know
The best direction to look that I would think that this book would be in, or the map.
Oh, okay. Well, did you succeed?
2, 4, 10. No, I did not.
Okay. If the player characters gain entrance to the museum without making noise, the dog is curled up asleep. Yep, we already did that. Don't worry about that. No problem. This is the guard dog, by the way. We've got an illustration. It's very fearsome.
Is that a Yorkshire Terrier?
Yeah, it's
It
a
is.
Yorkie.
That's like a pit to us, though.
Yeah.
Well,
No, it's
looks
pretty
like a
small.
brunette, but what is this dog?
All right. If the dog's asleep, you may search for the map, but you have to do so quietly. Now, this is dumb. This is so stupid.
Can we play like Pink Panther music right now?
So you remember 4E's skill challenges?
Yep.
Okay. That's what they want you. That is like a thing
Consecutive
this
skill
game.
checks.
Yes. This
I
requires.
use my athletics to do push-ups.
And I keep doing it. And I keep doing it.
Do you remember that? It was use athletics to make push-ups to impress a ghost.
Now, I mean, if you don't have that, how can you have that situation?
Yeah, that's so bad. All right, this requires. Now, I would never do this IRL, but this requires 3 successful scan rolls, and failing twice means you make noise. Once 3 successful rolls are achieved, you find the map. Wow, that's great gameplay.
Yeah, it's like,
Go ahead.
Can we just do one?
that's fun for everyone.
Okay, who has the highest scans? Go ahead and everybody make rolls.
I'm gonna.
I got nothing.
I don't have the highest scan, but I do have a torch, which helps with scan.
There you go.
So I'll.
You add an additional.
But it's also preferred. You got preferred and +1.
Whoever's got the high one, use the torch.
I have preferred scan, but I only have one.
Can somebody assist with this
Okay,
game?
how about we
One
just go
extra
in
unit.
order? What's your scan rating?
Zilch.
Scan.
Mine is 1, but I'm
One.
up top with Tim and
Doesn't
Lonnie.
matter. No, you're inside now.
Oh, we're all inside?
1.
All right.
Lonnie, what's your scan?
My scan,
Yeah.
1.
Steve.
My scan is a 1, but I have advantage or whatever we're calling
Favored.
that. Favor.
And a
Yeah, it
torch.
needs to be
Okay, you?
0.
0.
0.
Everybody that has 1, raise your hand. I think we got 3, right?
Yeah, 3-1, and one of those favored.
Okay, everybody that has at least one skill point in scan, make your check.
I'm assuming my torch gives me.
Yeah, your torch gives you plus 1d. 1d6.
I rolled a not Gandalf.
Okay, well, you still roll your d6. Not that it's going to matter.
I got a 1.
So you got a failure.
Yeah.
You failed twice.
I double failed.
That
What?
was awful. Yeah, I failed also.
Okay, and their third roller. Do we have a third roller?
Yeah, I also failed.
Okay, so 3 failures. Great, that's awesome.
You just swipe some urns off those.
The dog wakes up and he barks.
Sick your owl
Now
on
he
him.
is following you around and yapping at you.
Do you think I could use courtesy to calm the dog?
I think an owl could
Literally
take a
says
Yorkshire
calming
Terrier.
the dog requires a courtesy roll.
Oh, sick! I use
wait.
I use courtesy.
Wait, how good is your courtesy?
So-
I'm
As-
preferred.
as
or whatever.
they-
Me too, but I've got 3.
Oh, you got 3. Do it.
3.
You got 3?
Somebody's
Yeah.
courtesy voice.
I'll roll to help you.
Okay, somebody can roll to help because
I'll
y'all
roll to help.
So what does that? What does that add to mine?
just a d6, just a d6.
A D6. Okay.
There you go.
Yikes.
Roll that thing again.
Yeah, but you get to roll the 12 again.
Okay, that's a little bit better.
You
I mean,
got
I-
it.
I
Remember,
definitely-
you can spend hope to get 1 extra dice,
One extra witch dice.
d6.
Six.
And if you have a distinctive feature, top, middle, that's relevant, you get 2 instead.
What's
2
the
d6.
PN? What are you rolling against?
The middle stat.
What's that
second
word say?
Do you beat 12?
That's more than 12.
Yeah, easily.
Well, you're good.
Okay, did you get any 6s?
No.
Okay. Did you spend hope?
Yep.
Mark off your hope, just like HP. All right, so success. The dog is, it says, if you succeed, the dog is lulled back to sleep. Okay, so he gets bored and goes back to sleep. All right.
I was about to stab the dog with my rabbit skinning knife. So after it falls back asleep, I just like put the knife away and
That's
walk
not
away.
the vibe, Stefano. Read the room.
That's why he didn't do it.
Why do we have weapons if that's not the vibe?
I think
all
it's
I
the
have
vibe.
is a very small pocket knife, but
I think this knife disagrees with you.
Do you want to hear what happens if you fail to
Yeah.
to lull him back to sleep?
Yeah.
it gets the knife.
So he starts yapping ever more
Literally the size
energetically,
of a rabbit.
and no one is alarmed by his antics. But you lose 1 point of hope for fear that you might be discovered.
Doubtful.
This is a baby.
Welcome to
game.
whose line is it anyway?
High stakes.
Where everything's made up and the points don't matter.
All right. So you find the old Took's map. Congratulations.
We all win.
Trophy here.
Okay.
So I said it's upward D&D.
Once you found what you've come for, the conspirators can easily unlock the front door
Wait,
from
wait,
the
wait.
inside and escape.
It was faster to fail.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Man, this is a lot like
Does that
real
mean we
life.
found the map?
You know, it's faster to fail. You lose a little hope to find stuff. You know, it kills you a little bit.
Pretty much like real life, yeah.
All right,
That's
now,
like an old character.
it doesn't tell you to do this, but I'm going to have you do it. You're the stealth man, right?
Apparently so.
Okay. Make one last stealth check to get away without anybody seeing you escape.
Just because that fruit's
I'll
low
just
hanging don't mean it ain't
Keep
tasty.
stealthing up since.
And if you want to spend hope, you get 2 dice.
I will spend hope.
All right, you can only spend 1 hope per roll.
Yeah, that's 1 extra success and plenty of points to pass.
All right, brother.
Ace.
Nobody even saw you. Ada burrows. She is dozing.
Silent but deadly.
All right, once the
We should have
conspirators.
stolen her dog.
I love those John Cena memes.
All right, once the conspirators return to Bag End, the lore master, that's me, should read the following text.
Yeah,
After
you
your
should.
successful recovery of the old Took's map of the Shire and swift journey home, you're greeted by the green door of Bag End being thrown open like a pop gun
Huh?
to reveal a
How do
grinning
we know what a
Bilbo.
pop gun is?
That's what I'm saying. Standing on the doorstep, walking stick in hand. You found it. Wonderful. Simply wonderful.
Wait, he didn't go on the adventure?
He did not go on the adventure, but he can in the next one.
Okay.
One of you can beat Bilbo.
Okay.
Though eager, Bilbo ushers you in with a hasty wave of his hand. Come on, we'll need to review my grandfather's map quickly tonight if we're to set off on our next adventure. This remarkable find of yours makes me believe I'm quite ready for another adventure. Bilbo and the other conspirators can relax for a time. Bilbo prepares a fine meal for everyone and asks about the whole affair. After hearing the story, he cannot help but laugh, adding that he's ready to join them on their next adventure. I'm ready to join you on your next adventure.
Oh,
Bilbo Baggins is now available to be chosen as a player hero for the next adventure.
you've unlocked Bilbo Baggins. Free play is now available.
All right, you completed the first.
Bilbo, what part of that felt like an adventure to you?
All right. So
Fondling his pocket
you
the
may
whole
now
time.
restore any lost endurance and lost hope
Okay.
because you get to chill out for a bit. And then we're going to eat some cake.
Do we level up?
Not yet. We're going to eat some One Ring cake. We're going to eat some Eye of Sauron cake. And if we have
Balrog
time
balls.
and the inclination, we'll begin the second adventure.
Yes.
I have a question.
All right.
Yeah.
If we begin the second adventure, is there any chance I'll get to use my keen short sword?
Let me double check. I believe that is a possibility.
I mean, you could have used it on that dog.
Oh, yeah, 100%. There's an actual monster in this next one.
You can attack one of your party members. Like a
There's still an
murder.
owl.
Yeah. All right. We're pausing it.
Don't touch
Will we
my
come
owl.
back?
Who can
Only,
say?
only Bilbo can tell
Who can
us.
say?
All right. We're back for adventure number 2. Will we finish it?
That's OP.
I don't know. That seems funny. Okay, don't worry about it. All right. So we've got some flavor text. The adventure can be played at. Oh, this is not flavor text. Great. It is now spring in the Shire Reckoning year 1360. Popping out of his study like a.
Like a what?
Wait for it.
Like
why,
a what?
Why do they?
Hit it, go.
Why do they do this to me?
Lean into it.
Popping out of his study like a cuckoo from a clock,
Why not?
Bilbo rushes into the parlor where you are all relaxing after a fine second breakfast. It's me. Map still clutched in his hand. My wonderful friends, you won't believe what I found on Old Took's map. I believe I know where the club of Benderbur's Took is located. Or at least the old Took did. Or rather, he thought he did. Maybe he wasn't sure. He shakes his head as if to physically force the rambling thoughts from his head. Never you mind. I might need to do a bit more research, but I was hoping for, nay, counting on your help once again. After hearing about your little adventure in Mickle Delving, I'd like a little taste of adventure myself. It says here on the map that the Club of the Bull Roarer may be somewhere around the village of Oatbarton, in a place called Kingsworthy. Exciting, isn't it? So I was thinking perhaps in return for my generous hospitality, we could take a walk north and do a bit of investigating into the matter. Imagine it, being credited with being the hobbits who found the club of Bull Roarer Took. Wait right here, I'll run and get your gear to suit a proper adventure. And just like that.
Hey, do we know what that is?
Oh,
Yeah.
so there was an invasion of goblins a few generations ago, and Bull Roarer Took rode out on his pony, or maybe on his full-size horse. I think
Yeah.
it was like
The
4
only
feet
one.
tall.
The only one big enough to ride a horse.
Yeah, it was the only one big enough to ride a horse, and he had a club, and he hit the orc
like
leader's
me.
head,
Knocked it off. Clean
knocked it off, and it fell into a rabbit hole, and that's
how they
he
invented
started
golf.
the game. Oh, it says right here, Old Took's great grand uncle Bullroar charged the ranks of goblins of Mount Graham, charged the ranks of the goblins of Mount Graham in the Battle of the Green Fields, and knocked their king Golfimble's head clean off with a wooden club. All right,
That's from the books.
that's real.
That's canon.
That's 100% real.
See, everybody's a little George Lucas. Of
with his wooden clubber
Listen,
on the
he's a
greener.
little can a man be a little whimsical?
course he can.
Let a gamer
Give
game.
into your whimsy.
And like that, Mad
Let him
Baggins disappears in a flash around the corner before returning as you all exchange looks of excitement and confusion. He drops a large chest before you and smiles. There you are. Take what you need. There's no knowing where we'll be swept off to. And he runs to dash off again, but turns around back to you, almost laughing at his own forgetfulness. I've muddled my wits, staying up all night making a copy of Old Took's map. No need to damage the original, after all. And he shoves the fresh copy at you before throwing open the front door to Bagan and stepping out onto the road. Come on, we'd best be off. All right, so you're...
Hold on.
Nope. you're off.
Adventure.
But he gave us a chest full of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not what I'm worried about. I want to see the old map and compare it to this new map,
It contains
Mr. Bilbo.
basic traveling gear like cloaks. So
I don't want your revisionist history.
if you want any of this stuff, put it in your character sheet. Cloaks, backpacks, pocket handkerchiefs, standard supplies, and a few battered weapons.
Just a Benjamin.
Among the weapons are 3 clubs, which can serve also as walking sticks, a pair of small hunting bows
I take a bow.
left behind with dwarvish visitors. They have arrows with them. Or excuse me, yeah, hunting bows, arrows. A short sword that he had used for decoration instead of warfare, a small axe for cutting wood, and 1 dagger for each of you. So everybody gets a free dagger. Sting is not among them because Bilbo has it.
Bilbo is stacked.
And just for information, if you pick up a short sword, that adds 1 to your load, and a bow adds 2 to your load.
Yeah, so your significant items in your inventory add to your load. If it doesn't say how much load it adds, it's just 1. Share the load. And bows add 2. So how is that relevant? If your endurance gets equal to your load, then you become weary, which is bad. So just keep that in mind. I don't think it's going to be a problem for y'all right now. All right. To go to Oatbarton, the conspirators must first take the... Does everybody have your gear that you want? Mm-hmm. Okay. Sure. 1 axe, 1 sword,
I'll take the axe.
2 bows,
sword.
3 clubs.
Can I have the
And-
sword?
Did you say they were nice clothes or something?
There's 2 swords?
Cloaks.
A cloak or
Yeah.
and a handkerchief, a fancy handkerchief,
It doesn't say fancy.
Pocket handkerchief.
pocket handkerchief. I take the handkerchief.
Used or
It's
unused?
fancy though.
You remember when Bilbo wanted to go back to get his hanky?
Yeah. I've got to get my hanky. To go to Oatbarton, the conspirators must first take the road to Bywater to the south and reach the east road. Now, in the real game, you have to plot out your path on a hex map. And that's like a part of the mechanical game is figuring out by landmarks and directions and stuff where you're going to go. And then the DM makes some calculations.
Because they thought that would be fun.
Listen,
It sounds a little
I
sounds
like
pretty
it.
good.
I like hex scrolls. I'll have to
Yeah.
admit that.
But it's simplifying it for this, and you're not using the real journey rules. So just FYI. So you're going to leave the east farthing behind the 3 farthing stone. The 3 farthing stone is a big monolith in the middle of the Shire, straight in the middle where all the farthings meet. And you're going to take the Northway road to your left. It's more than a leisurely stroll to reach Oatbarton. It takes more than 3 days on average. But searching for the fabled club of Bull Roarer Took is certainly worth the effort to enliven the... Oh, it says to enliven the journey, the lore master, that's me, can use the rules for Hobbit walks found on page 10 of the Shire.
What
And
does
you know
lore
what?
mean for me?
I don't know what you're asking me.
I have a lore stat.
It just means when you need to know something, you
I
it's like a
run a
knowledge
chance
check.
of knowing it.
It's a knowledge check. So let me open up that page 10 of the Shire supplement. And we're going to use the rules for Hobbit walks. Are you ready? Mm-hmm. I hope you are.
So 75 millimeter film. It's filmed for IMAX. It's wide shot,
All right.
side of a mountain. It's the rules for Hobbit Walk. Usually
So I
they're just-
believe I roll a d12. That is the standard feat die. And what happens? I got a 9. Oh, a shortcut. The journey took less time than expected. You're going to gain fatigue. What is fatigue? Fatigue is a separate currency that adds up. And if it gets up to your load, I believe, or up to your endurance, something like that, then it's bad. So your fatigue tends to keep on accumulating through your journey until it's over and you can rest in a town or something. They call that a haven. So you got to watch your fatigue. Now, whenever you would gain fatigue, you may make a travel roll to possibly reduce the amount of fatigue you would gain. The amount of fatigue that you gain is affected by the seasons. So it is, I think, spring. So the most you're going to gain is 1 fatigue because we took a shortcut. It's fine. So you're going to make a travel roll, okay? It should be a skill on your sheet.
all of us.
Yeah, everybody. And then if you succeed, you're going to take no fatigue. If you fail, you're going to take 1.
Need a pencil.
I still don't know what
Tearing me
D12 does.
Where's it?
Oh, hi, Ducky.
So for you, travel.
I know I didn't pass, but like, what does the D12 do?
We lose
got a 12.
endurance if we fail.
You add that to the two d6s.
No, your
Oh, you do?
fatigue
Yeah.
goes up.
So
Yeah.
you might have
Like-
passed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I have
If
no
you roll a
markings.
12, you automatically succeeded on your D12. That's a Gandalf run.
You add the D12 to the D6s.
Yeah, normally.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Easy.
So fatigue goes up to what? Like
What, if it starts at 0.
okay, it starts at- okay.
Yeah, starts at 0.
Do you
and
have an
goes up.
eraser?
Yeah.
All right.
Still at 0. Aha.
Great. All right, so that's what a travel. So that is like a mini version of a journey. So you go someplace, see if you have random encounters, see how much fatigue you gain, if any, and then make a travel roll to possibly reduce that. And then if you were doing this for real, everybody would have roles. Like one person would be the guide. We'd have scouts, hunters, whatever, and you would all make separate roles to make this journey work out better. Okay. All right, so you find it's midday when the conspirators catch sight of the first houses of the village. That is Oat Barton. It's spring, but the last hints of winter still nip at your toes, making you eager for a hearty meal. But before you take your first steps into the courtyard that serves as the heart of the village, you catch the scent of roast chicken and potatoes. Potatoes.
Are they boiled, mashed, or stuck in a stew?
I believe they're in a stew.
Oh, that's how it will be.
No.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
They're boiled. I'm making an executive decision here. They're boiled. The hard-working farmers of Oat Barton are gathered in the center of their village in the cobblestone courtyard for lunch, sitting at long tables and shaded by large pavilions and tents. The search for the famous war heroes' great club can wait. The villagers are happy to share their lunch with the heroes. I'm happy to share my lunch with you. And as soon as they place a plate in front of each of them, they may start asking questions. And wants you to do a skill challenge thing. 3 successful skill
I have to eat?
rolls. You have to. You're a hobbit. What are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about? All right. So it's 3 successes before. Oh, no. No. This one is. You can just learn more stuff from talking to them. The only downside is you don't learn stuff. So you can use all courtesy and harden, persuade, or riddle, whatever you want. Go
I'll
ahead,
do riddle.
everybody roll.
Yeah, I'll
I'm
do
gonna go with
riddle.
courtesy.
I mean,
Now this is never how I would run the actual game, just FYI. But
I'm like maxed on courtesy.
I think
and
this
riddle.
is a terrible way of telling people how to run this game.
I got a Gandalf.
And let me just talk about it a little bit, because what should happen is I should present the scene, and then it should just flow. Things happen, and then if we don't know what happens, then we make the roll. Okay, that's how it should go. But that's not what we're doing, because we're just doing it by the book here. All right, did anybody succeed? How many successes we have?
Yeah,
How
I
many?
succeeded.
I
All
got
right,
a
we got 3
Gandalf.
successes at least. That's all we needed. On a first success, you learned that the Kingsworthy is an abandoned structure about a day's travel into the North Moors. A second success lets you learn that some of the rowdier children play a game called Bull Roar's Club that seems to involve them roughing one another up with a stick from a field that they claim to be the artifact. And the third and final success means you hear some rumors about a ghost haunting the abandoned building called Kingsworthy. All right. So it can be reached by taking a northward path from here and walking for a full day across the North Moors, right? We just skip to it. All right.
We don't
So-
talk to the kids or anything?
Nope, we're done.
Okay.
We
have no time for children.
No, we don't have time for that. All right, so now it's in sight. You may attempt to identify the purpose of this large stone house with your lore roll. You've been wanting to do that for a long time.
I've been saving up. I've been waiting.
Remember, you can spend a hope point to get extra dice.
Can I help him out if I've got lore preferred?
Sure. 1 extra die.
Please. Oh, I roll another.
Please.
Can I go with my first D12 roll?
No, unless it's favored.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's-
it was.
it's
My first one was
advantage.
favored. So
It's
it was
advantage,
okay.
so whatever we want.
So I make it. Yeah, it was 16, and I
Okay.
have 13.
Great. you conclude that it might have been a hunting lodge at the time of the kings in Norbury. Because I learned, another fun thing about this system is that it does give you some never said this word out loud. Gazetteer? Gazette. Gazetteer. That's how you say that. Information about the setting. So it has like 40 pages on the Shire, and I read some of the background and I learned about it. I didn't remember this stuff. So it used to be a realm under man control, but some hobbits petitioned the king for a little area of their own, and he gave it to them, and then the king died, and then everybody forgot about him. Problem solved. That's how you get the Shire. Upon closer inspection, you find the place is deserted. You spot, however, a fresher set of tracks. Who's got the best scan? Hold up the number of fingers that correspond to the number of dots you have. And hold up 2 hands if it's favored. I just need to see who has the best. All right. 2 and 1. Mason, go ahead. Are you Bilbo? Of course, Bilbo.
Yeah.
OP.
I got 4. Wait, no, that's 6. So I don't make it.
Okay. Well, you don't know what kind of tracks they are.
Did you re-roll your d20?
I rolled 2 at a time.
So they must be kind of muddy and messed up. The most important find of the day is that no club hangs over here, over the mantle, but it looks like it used to. Over the cold fireplace is a large wooden plaque bearing the signs of having used to have been used to, how many times can I say used? To display a long object as tall as a hobbit. And it is fine.
I think we would have found it if it weren't for those meddling kids.
Could the club have been stolen recently? Who can say? All right, now
Let's go shake down some kids.
It's just telling you what to do.
That's fine.
Oh, you can follow the tracks. You just can't tell what made them, I guess, is the problem.
I mean,
Yet.
Okay. So let's just say you're following the tracks. I know who they belong to and what it is.
the monster.
So what does it belong to?
You're going to find out. And you are going to find out.
Not a ghost because it's tracks.
Oh, good point. Good point.
Has feet.
Could be
Ghosts
old
don't
man
have feet.
Farley dressed as a ghost.
Everybody knows
so
that.
goofy.
Ghosts don't have feet.
Like, there's no reason for you to be doing anything that is listed here, but it just tells you you're going to do it, and you have to make, like, so many of the rolls before it. I'm just going to say you find them. So it wants you to to follow the tracks by making 3 hunting rolls, okay? But we know how to roll now, right? You know how to do that.
Yeah.
You know how to roll. All right, and there's no penalty for not finding it. It doesn't assign one. That's just not how this game is supposed to work.
I can't make it no matter what.
Actually, you can.
You fail, and
I'd have to take hope. I'd have to take hope.
No, you can roll a 12 on the D12.
Oh, right.
Always.
Yeah, that's true.
Or
Okay.
you fail, and it finds you faster.
Yeah. All right. So what happens though is that you run into this guy, this hobbit. He's an older fellow. You know, I say older fellow. He's probably like my age. Reality check.
Well, you are pretty old. So.
Yeah, I know. You run into this guy. His name's Mort. He says, "Oh, my name's Mort. You haven't seen a girl hobbit around here, have you?"
By the name of Mindy.
Anyway, have you?
I've seen. I've seen.
I'm a
plenty.
female hobbit.
No, not you.
Okay.
What does she smell like?
That was a pretty
It's a
one.
very strange.
Anyways, my
Please don't
daughter.
ever ask that again.
My daughter came up looking for something around here, and I haven't seen her. She hasn't come back home.
Well, let's find her.
Well, yeah, let's find her. All right. Thanks for the help.
What
I'll,
exactly was she looking for?
Well, the club of Old Bulwar. Everybody says it's around here. It's an old legend, though. Hopefully, she didn't get too lost. Let's look.
Oh, it's Tosh. Let's find
All
her.
right. So Mort will say he doesn't know anything about it. Oh, his daughter is Myrtle. All right. Here she is, Myrtle Mudfoot. Good
Moaning?
old Myrtle Mudfoot.
You sure it's not moaning Myrtle?
Nope, it's not moaning
You
Myrtle.
did mention a ghost. So
I'm very scared.
All right. Myrtle does love to play goblin knocking with the other children, and that must be why she
Who
came
doesn't?
And
all the way out here this morning. This is kind of like
My high school had to have special classes on goblin knocking.
this is kind of like an inconvenient berries situation. Anyway, so Myrtle's his only child. He's freaked out. He'll accept the help. Yada yada yada. We got it. So now we're here. We're looking around. Where's she at?
On our way to find her, we report him to Human Services.
Where are the Hobbit girls at? All right. The night is clear and cool.
Lady.
A waxing moon and a veritable. Okay. All right.
What's going on with that there?
A waxing moon and a veritable symphony of starlight.
Oh.
Twinkling?
Is it loud?
That's what I'm saying. Now I know in the Tolkien Legendarium that singing created the world, but I don't think he was thinking about that. I think he just mixed those metaphors.
Yeah.
Offer some light as you trek across the lightly rolling landscape. But this is no well-trodden road. The ground is uneven, and your foot can easily be caught, in a hole, or your legs may grow weary, as you plod through the moss-covered terrain. A long yawn escapes your mouth, all of you at the same time. And you fight off the weight of your own eyelids. Like this, you hold your fingers up under them so they can't fall down. You're fighting it off. You're doing eyelid presses.
Is there a willow tree nearby?
No.
Working out our eyelids to failure.
Take a puff of my old finely wrought pipe.
All the while searching for signs of the wayward hobbit lass. Even in this dim evening light, the growing concern is evident on Mort's drawn face. You are pressing into the small hours of the night without any real opportunity to play this game, to rest or to recover. As such, you all gain 3
Feels very
fatigue
meta.
points. You gain 3 fatigue points.
Keep saying my eyes are getting weary.
Yeah, I know.
Struggling.
Okay, but as this is like a journey thing, so make a travel roll.
I was about to say, can we make a travel roll?
Tim's over here breaking the fourth wall.
If you succeed, reduce the fatigue by 1 plus 1 for each 6 you roll.
Hey.
Okay. So 3 fatigue, reduced by 1 for success, reduced by an additional 1 for each 6.
How about if I just roll a 12? I get all of them reduced?
Nope.
Oh, hey, I got a Gandalf.
There you go. So you automatically succeed.
I'm just reminding you where to edit it. Yeah,
And I got a 6.
So you reduce. So you only take 1 fatigue. How about that? You're hardly tired. All right. As the player heroes. I hate that.
Found a Red Bull.
Player dash hero.
Scour the North Moors for some sign of Myrtle. The Lord Master should ask them how they're good. Okay. Yeah.
well,
Make
anything you want to ask?
Okay.
How are you feeling?
Those looking for signs of something out of the ordinary, those exploring, those hunting. Okay. I'm just going to skip all that because it doesn't matter.
Wait, I want to take this opportunity to grid the pasture off into 5 by 5 squares with my rope.
Oh, Mort helps the player heroes. Oh, this is just an example of how helping works. 1 single player hero searching for evidence of Myrtle gains 1 die to your rolls because if it's okay, we understand.
If you hadn't told me that, I wouldn't have had fun tonight.
Okay, here we go. We're getting to the good part. All right. Hours of pursuit mean that when you see, I just skipped all the rolls you would have to make because it doesn't matter because you're just going to get to here anyway. Hours of pursuit mean that when you see the darker patch of bracken and heather ahead, the sky has started to turn from the deep blackness of night into the deep blue of the hours before dawn. You've followed Myrtle's tracks for miles now. You've little doubt that she came this way. As you get closer, you start noticing that the dark patch is not due simply to different vegetation. There are ancient stones jutting out of the ground, low crumbling walls hinting that this was once a very different place. A fort, a town maybe. Few hobbits have seen this place, and as you take your first steps forward among the stones, stories of kings and armor-clad warriors fill your mind. Just as you and your fellow conspirators are about to explore the heather-covered ruins, a rumbling growl seems to roll for initiative. I'm just kidding. Seems to rise from the ground itself. It's a bellowing shout bearing some resemblance to human speech, echoing among the ancient stones. You then hear a high, panicked voice call out from nearby, "Shoo, you old troll! Go away! Go!" Breaking through the thicket of brambles, you see none other than Myrtle Mudfoot, who has scrambled up a ruined wall and is swinging a heavy wooden club at a massive creature, looking like the grotesque imitation of a large capital man.
Save the club.
It's a stone troll. Between the two of them, leaning warily against a wall, is a cloaked stranger, hood thrown back to reveal the rugged face of a capital man with gray eyes, clutching a large bleeding gash across his shoulder that has all but incapacitated him as he desperately tries, Yap Fist, to keep the monster from reaching the child. The troll is clearly angry. I didn't understand that.
Could not have gathered.
And does not seem to have noticed you and your companions. Myrtle, on the other hand, sees you and immediately cries out for help. Thank goodness. All right. Fighting an angry stone troll is quite a dangerous endeavor. Wow, I didn't know this. All right, so what do you want to do?
Isn't the sun about to rise?
We've got... What are we doing? What are we doing?
I
What are we
burn
doing?
I burn a
the
hope,
time.
and I'm gonna cut his Achilles heel.
Jeez.
I can shoot him from range, right?
Yeah. Go ahead. Okay, so this is...
I would like to
I
also
want
do
to
that.
strike a rock, and then it'll break, and the sun will come through it.
Exactly.
And it'll be...
Okay, so the way this works is I can basically just start things whenever I feel like it. And he said that he's going to do something that would probably take effect before any of y'all do anything. So we're going to start there.
Well, I'm also going to shoot an arrow too.
That's fine. We can all do that. And the way this works is battle is not on a grid. It's more abstracted, kind of like Final Fantasy Tactics or something. And so before we close to melee, there is one or more ranged attacks that are possible.
I hope that comes through.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if it will. It probably will come through. Got dogs on the ceiling.
Thunder.
Okay. So you can go ahead and make your ranged attack rolls if you have a ranged weapon before the troll can close to you. Okay, so
Can
the
I-
way that it works.
I was about to ask, how do I do a range attack roll?
Okay, so at the bottom left of your character sheet, if I'm remembering correctly, there is a list of weapon skills. Preface. Okay, those are the number of d6s you add. You're not going to be favored in any of them, so you're not going to have advantage. And if you don't have a special weapon, like a magic weapon, you're not going to get any extra bonuses. So it's just feat die plus those versus your strength TN plus the monster's parry stat. So the troll has a +1 parry stat, so it's going to be one higher than your normal target number.
So if I have 14, I need to beat a 15.
Correct. All right. So it doesn't matter what order you go. So somebody can just roll and tell me what happens.
Which TN are we going against?
It's your strength or whatever the far left one is.
And I only get to use 2 d6s.
It's just whatever, yeah.
Plus your D12.
Weapon
Plus
skill.
my D12,
Yeah,
okay.
plus your D12 like normal.
The 11 thing still counts here too.
Yep. It just counts as a 0.
Okay.
Gorgeous.
Gandalf.
And
Okay.
a 6.
So did you get any 6s?
Oh yeah, no, that's a 3. Yeah, it's a 3. Looks like a 6.
Okay, so just a success. So
I did
on-
fail, but I got a 6.
On a success, okay, so and also, if your weapon can do a piercing strike, which is kind of a crit, that's a 10 or more on your feat die. So if you got that, that's great. So just let me know if you get a 10 or a Gandalf. Oh, a Gandalf would be a piercing strike. Okay. Roll Tide. We're going to get to do multiple things here. So the main effect that succeeding in an attack has is that it reduces the endurance of the creature. So how much? What's the weapon? Can I see somebody's character sheet so I can see what this? Oh wait, I have a character sheet.
Damage is 3. Injury is 14.
Oh yeah, that's something else. Okay, so your damage is 6. Well, sorry, I'm looking at this. So you reduce his endurance, which is like HP, by the damage amount. So how much damage do you do?
3.
3. All right, so he has such and such left. But you did a piercing strike, because I think bows can do a piercing strike. If I'm mistaken about that, just give me 1 second.
I mean, just like mechanically, yes.
Well, I understand.
That's almost the entire purpose of a bow.
Yeah, I don't think you want to do bludgeoning damage with a bow.
No.
A piercing strike is like a
You
specific
put like an anvil in the end.
mechanical.
I can't understand. I can't imagine an arrow being successful in any other strike.
Yes, it has
Then a piercing
special
strike.
damage, heavy blow, and pierce. And let me
Fire.
see. Where's that?
Put fire arrows.
Dang old thing.
Do fire damage.
Oh, I think I have it here.
Would you like the big book?
Where is my cheat sheet? Well,
I have no idea.
it doesn't matter.
'Cause
We're
I
just
would have
gonna-
had it.
We're just going to roll with it. So what has to happen now is he has to save against your, what's it called? injury.
Okay.
So your weapon has an injury value that sets a TN. And he has to save on that with a feat die like normal, right? And then if you have armor, you roll d6s equal to that armor, like a skill. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So he rolls a feat die to resist being pwned. I rolled a 2, which is not great, and then he has 3 armor just from being a troll. And I got 5, 7, 9. And what is your
Bow TN.
injury, TN?
Alex, that is 14.
I failed. So I take a wound. Now, one thing I do really like about the system is that actually getting wounded, there's this like a time that happens. It's not like HP when something could be a wound or could not be a wound. It's very specific that unless you get a wound mechanically, you're fine. You're just winded or something like that. So he is wounded. Now, what does that mean? I don't recall. I think it means he's just down. I think that means he's out. As a player character, you can get a wound and then keep going, and then your second wound takes you out. And means you're basically out of the game until you're healed. But for a monster, I think 1 wound pwns him. At least that's
supposed
what I
to be their
understand.
might.
I don't know what that is. It's not here. Let's look it up. Let's pause real quick to look it up. All right, so we looked it up, and might is a thing that's not in the quick start, but it's basically how many wounds they can take before they're dead. So he has 2 might, so we're assuming he takes 2 wounds before he dies. So he has been shot through the eye. He's stumbling back.
And Steve's to blame.
Yeah. And now, because of that, I'll let y'all get 1 more volley before he'll be able to close to melee.
Yay!
So if anybody else is shooting
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot
from
him.
range, go ahead. I doubt you will have this success again.
I have no bow.
I do.
I have no bow and I'm
again.
No, it's all good. No, dude, it's all good.
Now, what am I supposed to hit?
I do succeed.
15?
So it's your
If I hit a 15.
it's your strength TN plus his parry, which is +1.
Right. Which mine is 14.
Yep.
So if I hit a 15, I hit.
Yeah, so your damage goes against his HP.
It's just a regular bow. I don't know what
how
any
much,
of
how much
the
damage is
stats
it?
are. I don't know.
Damage is 3 for a bow.
3. So 3.
Okay. All right.
He also gets another 3 from me.
All right. So you're wearing him down, but he's still got plenty of HP. No piercing strikes, no 10s or more on the feet die.
I mean,
Oh, wait,
I'd
I got
argue
a
with
10.
you about that.
On the feet die, you did?
On my D12.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got
okay.
10.
Then that's another piercing strike. So he has got to make another save. 4, 9, 10.
Fail.
He takes another wound in the other eye. And he wanders into the forest screaming blindly and stumbling. All right, so Myrtle is happy. She's delivered, and your ranger friend is also saved. Throwing back his hood with one arm clutching his shoulder, the cloaked wanderer reveals himself. He has long gray-brown hair and bright steely eyes. He gives you blue steel.
And he says, "Thank you for helping me steal these troll children."
He smiles through the pain of the wound he suffered at the claws of the troll. It's not often that I find myself needing protection. Less often that it should come in the form of you, little wondrous folk. It would seem I still have much to learn. My name is Halbarad, and I'm a ranger, although that title may not tell you much. Suffice it to know that I, like yourselves, was searching for young Myrtle for 2 reasons. First, yeah, this is how people talk.
Do you guys remember when Aragorn met up with them and he breaks down the entire
Let me
story of how he
enumerate
got
the
there
reasons
and
for
why
our
he gets
meeting.
there and his whole backstory?
Reason the first.
Do you, if y'all have seen the
Why I'm in this corner?
the Keira Knightley version of Pride and Prejudice, the clergyman who wants to marry her is like, let me illuminate the reasons that I wish to marry you. First, marriage is a noble estate. And he goes on. This is what this guy is doing. For fear that she might find true danger. Second, because she took something that I was meant to guard. I certainly didn't expect a burglar like Myrtle, and she fooled me. What Myrtle took from Kingsworthy is indeed a rare relic, a token of an ancient past best forgotten. It was hidden in plain sight, and it has remained safe for a long time until today. But now I think I have found someone worthy of its safekeeping. I think that if you have it, it may be in better hands than mine. He chuckles softly, and his hard eyes brighten a bit. Now, if you would be so kind as to see the Mudfoots home, I am certain they will have a fine meal waiting for them. I have wounds to tend to, but I hope this will not be our last meeting. He turns without waiting for a reply, says, I'm vengeance. And in a matter of... No, I'm just kidding. In a matter of seconds, the shadows of the heath swallow up the ranger as if you are one of their own and he is gone.
I'd just like to say that Artie yells out loud, I'm not a halfling Littlefoot whatever thing. I'm a human.
I'm a human being. Once
human?
back at Oat Martin's,
I'm just like everybody else.
Mort explains to his wife Marigold what happened. She chastises him as only a wife worried sick can, but prepares a grand feast for everyone as a thank you for their efforts. After a fine meal and a long sleep, the player heroes can begin their journey back to Bag End with the Club of the Bull Roarer hidden among their gear. To their surprise, what?
Whoa, everything's to my surprise.
They come up the lane of the Bagshot Row and see a dwarf in a red hood peeking into the window of Bag End. Wait.
Are his eyes twinkling? Or
It's a common theme.
Twinkle in his eye.
He has got a twinkle in his eye. He turns at their
But what is
approach
the twinkle doing?
and casts off the hood, revealing a keen smile and a long white beard. Bilbo, you old rascal, you told me to drop by for tea any time, and here I am. The dwarf pauses with a grin and collects himself before offering a polite smile. Forgive my exuberance. Balin, son of Fundin, at your service. And with a bow, he casts a knowing smile at Bilbo. What kind of trouble have you gotten yourself into this time, my little burglar? Balin, son of Fundin, is now available to be chosen as a player hero for the next adventure.
Unlocked ballad.
Having just arrived for tea, he's glad to help out his friends, fellow conspirators, with whatever local trouble they get themselves into. All right, and now the club.
And the club, we all fam.
Bilbo will keep the club at Bag End for study, and he will later donate it to the museum.
Yeah.
All right,
Thanks, man.
we
And
finished
scene.
the second one. How about that?
Module of the second.
All right, what do we think, fellas?
It's cute. It's cute.
It's great for kids.
Listen, I think it's real. I think it's just these starter modules are really badly written.
I mean, the starter module feels sort of like a tutorial to me.
But you-
which
and
maybe
you
that was the intent.
That is the intent of a
Tutorials
starter.
are always kind of.
And you removed all
Yeah.
like the travel part and the rolls that
Well,
we had to make.
it removes it itself. It's like you can do these rolls, but no matter what happens, you go to the next point. It literally doesn't need to be there.
Okay.
I mean, I think the point of them is just to teach you how to roll, and once you know how to roll, it is what it is. But think about like the D&D starter set for 5e. It's much more like a real game. Mm-hmm. Like you can make choices and do things that doesn't tell you what you're going to do next all the time. But I can definitely see this being more fun. I think if we were going to continue playing, we would not continue these starter adventures because they're not really adventures. They're just nonsense.
I mean, through no fault of her own, I'm not a huge fan of Primula.
Well, you can make your own Primula.
I know. I mean, I want to be. Is that how you say it?
I don't know.
I would think it would be
Primula.
Primula because she's very prim and proper.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
I'm actually kind of fond of Artie. He's all right.
Yeah. I could see this being a lot of fun but you would have to do some prep. I'd have to read the full rules. I haven't read the full rules, but I could see this. This is a merging of several RPG influences, like I mentioned at the start. I don't know if y'all have heard of the Burning Wheel, but that's very influential in this. I can tell. Mouse Guard, like I said, Sorcerer. It has a very heavy influence of the early indie RPG scene on it, which I have a fondness for. Like Dogs in the Vineyard, do you remember playing that?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Is that
from
the
same-
Mormon one?
Yeah, that's from the same scene. As people were going back and rethinking how to do tabletop RPGs from the ground up, like rethinking every assumption, not making it like D&D at all. And so this is a merger of new D&D ish influences plus that kind of stuff, I could see it being useful. Like, more things are abstracted in this than are in standard D&D. Combat, movement, journeys are even more abstracted. Inventory is abstracted, but it still has a bunch of mechanical stuff you have to think about. Like, do I want to take on this extra item because it'll increase my load? And you got to share the load, but it'll also. I could see how it could
It's a
be fun.
neat feature.
But for a whole starter module, you make 3 decisions and you have 16 hope.
Yeah. The starter modules are terrible. They need to be totally redone. But
It almost would have been better for you just to read the intro and what we do that leads us up to this point that we now have Bilbo. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe like that would be the better approach.
and the way it's supposed to work is you start with a patron who's like your official.
You hear that,
quest
guys?
giver. Yeah, who is your official quest giver, and the different patrons have different stats. Like, they affect your party in different ways. Like, if you have Bilbo sending you out on missions, you get this mechanical feature. If Gandalf is doing it, if Bjorn is doing it, you have this other thing. And they have different kinds of things that they're interested in you doing for them. So that's part of the whole system, is that you're typically always doing something for someone else. Like, you're going on a quest for somebody, like for Elrond or something like that.
So you're telling me it's just a bunch of fetch quests?
Well, it doesn't have to be.
Is Lord of the Rings just one giant fetch quest?
And there's different, like, explicit phases to play. Like,
Return quest.
you have a currency
Career
called
quest.
Fellowship or something like that related to Fellowship that you can draw on through the adventure. And you have a phase at the end of each adventure where you do upkeep. Like, it's winter time, which is very mouse guard. It's winter time, so this is when you like level up and spend your currency that you gain to improve your characters. And then the next adventure might be a year from now.
Oh, okay.
So it's not like real time adventure. It's supposed to be more cinematic or literary, where like a lot of time might pass between adventures.
Yeah.
And things change a lot. So very different than normal D&D, at least in its structure. It's much more structured, or structured in a different way than D&D, I guess. D&D is more like moment to moment stuff, and this is more spread out.
High concept.
Yeah.
It felt like they only sketched in enough in the starter set to just do the railroad. You know, the building was just a space that had a clear indicator that there was a club there. There was no searching the building.
Right.
Every location was the location you went to next. There was no dead ends. There was no riddles to solve, even when we rolled riddle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think
There's no color.
it's very like mechanics forward rather than fiction forward. But you don't have to run it that way, because a lot of games can be run in a different way than they intend. So you could just run this more like a standard game, like where you're actually playing, and then just if a skill is relevant, then you roll the skill. You don't have to put it where like you solve problems by rolling the skill. That's how they have this structured, but you don't have to do it that way. But one benefit of doing it that way is that there's not as much prep. Like, you don't have to like map out anything. You just say, okay, you look at a big map and say they're going to go here and do this, and so things just move a lot quicker because there's not like you're not going with a 10-foot pole prodding stuff. You know what I'm saying?
You said this word prep. What is prep? What is this word?
What damn prep?
I didn't have to do a lot of prep for this. I just had to read stuff at you. But also, yeah, you don't have to have 1,000 paragraphs of flavor text either. Anyway, I would be interested to play this system again, like the full system, just to see what it's like. John was supposed to be here. I think he was the one that would. He's the one that would like it the most out of anybody.
Yeah, I just noticed the hex grid on the journey.
Yeah, you're supposed to
map.
Yeah, there's a printout that I brought. I knew we wouldn't use it, but
This is the one that you brought.
Yeah,
This is it. Yeah.
That's
really cool.
Yeah, you have a whole sheet that's supposed to help you plan out your journey, and like you have a space for ponies and horses because those reduce the fatigue that you gain, but they cost supplies to maintain and
Got
that
your
kind of
vim
thing.
and vigor.
You're supposed to plan out your journey, but and then you give your map to the DM, who then like consults with his own version of the map and then plots out how you're actually going to go. I haven't read all the rules.
I don't like that. That sounds like it sucks.
It could be good. I've heard people say moderately positive things about it. Okay. Not universal acclaim or anything like
Yeah,
that.
I've heard a lot of people say really good things about Big Bang Theory too. So.
But this is Lord of the Rings. I can tolerate
But
anything.
Zinga.
This is true.
I actually think this could be a lot of fun. And yes, it is Lord of the Rings. I agree.
Yeah,
That makes it
very-
good.
That inherently makes it better.
But you can't have a minimalist adventure because then it is just the DM telling us a story.
Just yapping. I have a coworker who has a minimum of 3, maybe more, Big Bang Theory bobbleheads on his desk.
Oh no! Oh, speaking of which, my brother got a new job, and he showed me a picture of his office, and the first thing I saw were his Funko Pops. And I was like, "Oh, those are in your office, man." Everybody sees that, and the name outside of your door has the same last name as me. I don't like that.
Now, the redeeming feature of this guy's desk apparel is that he also has a dedicated holder for a dedicated white monster. Like, it's not even, he doesn't even drink it. It's just there to decorate. Now, I respect that.
That's
I
good.
respect that. All right. Gino Rears, thanks for listening. We will make sure to check our show notes page because we'll have stuff from our Fellowship of the Wings on there with maybe ideas if you want to have your own Fellowship of the Wings. And if you do not run the starter adventures. Do something else.
I'll upload my recipe for my wings.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and the marmalade dip.
Yeah, we'll have recipes. It'll be a great time. A great time will be had by all. All right. Gigi Nori.
Amen.